Hello again, this is Nigel from Mad About Animals. In this episode I'd like to talk about the perfect vegan and vegan hypocrisy. So, what is the perfect vegan and are vegans hypocrites? Before we go any further, let's remind ourselves of the definition of veganism. There are lots of definitions, but let's go by the Vegan Society's definition, which says that veganism is a philosophy and way of living which seeks to exclude, as far as possible and practical, all forms of exploitation of and cruelty to animals. It goes on a little bit more than that, but that's the essence of it. Now, veganism is not a diet. Obviously most vegans are aware of that, but many people that are non-vegan seem to treat veganism as a diet. It's clearly not just a diet, it's about all forms of exploitation of animals. So it's not just what we eat, it's about the stuff that we wear, obviously leather, fur, that sort of thing. But it's also about other exploitation of animals. It's about not riding horses, it's about not having service dogs, it's about not keeping animals in zoos, those sorts of things. Recently I was in a debate on social media with someone who was using the old crop deaths argument. Now, if you're not aware of the crop deaths argument, I'll paraphrase it. It's essentially saying that vegans are hypocrites because we eat crops that are grown, and in the growing of those crops animals are exploited, animals are killed. Rodents, worms, insects, birds are killed in the growing of and harvesting of those crops. Now, he was using a figure of 25 million animals per acre. I'll be honest, I've not checked that, I don't know where he got that figure from, but the number is irrelevant for this argument anyway. Of course it's not relevant for those animals that suffer. Even if it was one animal, it would be one animal too many. Does that make us hypocrites? Does that mean that we're not perfect? Well, perfection is something that we should strive for. There's no such thing as perfection in anything. We strive to be perfect in our morals, in our life. We strive to be perfect people, to not harm others, to not oppress others in any way, shape or form. We strive for these things. Do we always achieve it? No. If we don't achieve something, does that mean we shouldn't strive for it? Of course not. To be close to perfection is significantly better than being far away from perfection. So are animals killed when we harvest our crops? Undoubtedly. Probably not in the numbers that this guy was arguing with states, but certainly too many. Now, there's all the arguments about most crops are grown to feed animals, but that's not where I'm going in this video. We'll go there in a different video. But the reason I'm talking about this is that he was saying that we are hypocrites because we kill animals. I think the important part is that we don't intentionally kill animals. We do everything we possibly can to avoid killing animals. So I likened it to someone driving a car, for example. So when I drive my car, do I sometimes go over the speed limit? Yeah, sometimes. Not very much. I try to obey the speed limits wherever I possibly can. If I'm on a motorway, do I suddenly find myself a little bit above 70? Yeah. If the road goes down from a 40 to a 30, do I take a little bit longer to go to 30 from 40 than I should do? Probably. Does that mean that I shouldn't do these things? That I shouldn't go down to 30 when it goes from 40 to a 30? Does that mean that I shouldn't try to obey the law, even though I sometimes fail to do that? Of course it doesn't. Could you compare me and my driving to say those three men that drove a van onto London Bridge 3 or 4 years ago, ploughing into it and killing, I think it was 6 or 8 people, when they intended to do that? Of course, I don't intend to speed. I do sometimes. Of course, I don't intend to kill insects, but I do occasionally. As I'm recording this, I'm walking out with Sandy, my companion animal, who's here at my feet. I'm walking along, it's a gravel track, but no doubt there are insects. Maybe I've stood on one in the time I've been recording this. Do I regret that? Of course I do. Is that comparable to there being a mouse here and me deliberately stamping on the mouse? If I was walking alongside someone who was a hunter and they took out their rifle and shot a rabbit or a bird, is that comparable? Of course it isn't. When you look at these sheep behind me, would I go in there and slit their throat just so I could enjoy the taste of their flesh? Of course I wouldn't. Is that really comparable to me accidentally, unintentionally standing on an insect? There's no such thing as a perfect vegan. We try to achieve perfection, but we never quite get there. Merely existing causes suffering somewhere along the line. We try to minimise that suffering as much as possible. Does that make us hypocrites? No, it doesn't make us hypocrites. We're striving, we're trying our absolute best. Are we getting there? Yeah, we're getting there. By and large, we're doing our best. We're getting there. Do we harm animals? Sadly, we do. Does that mean we should stop trying? Of course not. I'm Nigel from Mad About Animals. If you enjoyed this, found it informative or useful, please like, share and subscribe and help us get the word out there. The more people like, share and subscribe the videos, the higher we appear on YouTube rankings, the more we get the message out about animal rights and animal liberation. It takes you a second to click the like, share and subscribe buttons. Thank you.